All right, so we are live. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on another Sunday on the Black Therapy Show. I'm sure people are asking, where is Tiffany and where is Kevin? Tiffany is traveling to, I want to say, North Carolina or Georgia. I think Georgia. She might be checking in. Kevin, he's a comedian and he's always traveling, and he usually checks in around 6:59. But today, I guess he's going to be a little late checking in. But we have two very special guests. As you know, I'm always trolling the social media looking for people who are like-minded, like myself and Kevin and Tiffany. And of course, you guys who've been following the show, you have seen Brian here quite a few times. And I saw Darnell right on TikTok doing exactly what we love people to do, Black people to do on the social media, which is go hard for people who look like us. And today we're going to be talking about the Target boycott, which Jamal Bryant, the pastor, took it upon himself to say the boycott is over. I am not quite sure who gave him the authority to say that, because apparently he did not even start the whole boycott. He came in at the end. So we're going to figure out why he's just running a little late. So those are the topics that we're going to be covering today. So with that said, I'm going to play our theme song. And we're going to come right back. I'm going to introduce our guests. So here we go.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow the Black Therapy Show. We in a safe space, dealing with the black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Cause we gotta unite, no more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. You know, with Kevin, calling Tiffany, you'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We're giving you everything, we're gonna challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiaries, we built all your schools. Gave us brainwashed education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from my God above. It's Carl, Kevin, and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.
I don't care what he says or if he claims to know Jesus personally, we're still not shopping there.
They didn't think we could do it, but we
Did
did.
what, nigga? How you gonna end some shit you ain't started? Because they made a big donation to the National Baptist Convention? Black-owned companies lack distribution. Black consumers lack access to those black-owned products. We don't give a fuck about a distribution company solving anything but distribution problems. Fuck throwing money at community-based grants that many won't know about nor apply for. It's still fuck black entrepreneurs and black consumers, so it's still fuck Target. They can't stand the idea of creating a lane for black-owned companies to become big corporations, capable of supporting their own communities. They'd rather set up HBCU scholarships so we can work for their corporations. Target knows it was Nakia Levy-Armstrong, founder of the Racial Justice Network, that started this boycott, but brought this big-ass bastard to the table because they knew he could be bought. Nigga, nobody appointed you to nothing but the pastor of your church. Talking about some boycott over. Get out of my sight.
Nakima Levy-Armstrong, are you one of the initial organizers of a Target boycott?
Of the Target boycott, yes.
Is the Target boycott over?
Absolutely not. I see a breaking news story from the Star Tribune saying the Target boycott has ended. How is that possible? When you have the founders and leaders of the boycott here, and we didn't end this boycott. And they know who I am. I have written op-eds in the Star Tribune, specifically about Target. There's patriarchal aspects to all of this as well. Knowing that 2 of the 3 founders of the Target boycott are black women, and yet they're running to black male pastors who don't even live here to try to get them to control what happens in our community, which is just, very disrespectful, but also constitutes this pattern of erasure that black women leaders have experienced historically. Think about the civil rights movement How many names do we know of black women organizers? They're the ones who held the entire movement together, and the media's deference to the patriarchy as well. Think about, Monique and I are both two of the 39 co-defendants in the city's church case. The sad part is, even as black women organizers, what do you see the media doing? They're here for Don Lemon's arraignment. And it's like Don Lemon flew in for one day to document our work. And so it's a pattern in terms of how the patriarchy operates in the systematic erasure of black women's leadership.
I am not encouraging people to go back and shop at Target. It really is a sin and a shame that it took them this long for us to get to this point. I think what the three of us, for a brief moment, let me just speak for the three of us, which is Leader Mallory laid it out, that we came to give an update because the people who participated in this with us all over this country deserved an update and to know where we are. Based on the update, the history, the information, and the update, people have to decide whether or not Target is worthy enough for you to go back in their stores. I personally, and as Leader Mallory laid out, her mother even saying she's not going back, I'm telling you, I am not going back. And particularly because we are owed a public apology. And so I want to see the Target CEO, just as they quit us publicly, they need to reaffirm their love for us publicly. Ultimately, people have to make their own decision. But as for me and my house, we will not be going back to Target.
Who the fuck is Jamal Bryant, and when did he become the spokesman for black people? I don't even know who you are, sir, for you to hit everybody with the, hey, everybody, we're heading back to Target. Who put you in charge, yo? And how are you ending something you didn't start? Anyway, some guy named Jamal took it upon himself with Tamika Mallory and Nina Turner. By the way, Nina fucks with this lady, to announce to the collective that the Target fast is over. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I made countless videos on how I'm on Target's neck until all them stores turn into fucking parking lots. My question is, what have black people gained from this sudden change of heart? I mean, besides them cutting y'all a check, of course. At bare minimum, they haven't even walked back their DEI stance. And that's cool, Target. You should stand your ground on DEI. Because I have an IDEA for you and Jamal. Y'all should take them invitations and go into one of them dead-ass stores, grab one of them home products, and go fuck yourself. People that don't stand for shit, I'm sure they'll be back in Target. As for me, I look forward to the day y'all go the fuck out of business.
Folks, that was one of our guests. Oh my God, that spoke to me when I heard you say that. That was Darnell Wright. I saw him on TikTok and I saw his rant, and I knew we were talking about the Target boycott, and I said I gotta have this guy on the show. I'm gonna go to you first, Darnell, and this is gonna be kind of my question to you, and then you can go off and frame it how all your ideas about this whole Target. I can't understand. Why are black people so afraid of? It seems like we always want to please the man. We always want to make them happy. We are so afraid that they don't like us. I mean, Target has shown us that they do not care about us. This is why I have the Michael Jackson in the background with his, a picture from his song. They don't care about us. They don't care. And the only reason they acted like they care is because they started to lose money. If they were still making money, right? If all the black people boycotted Target and those black people were filled in with white people and Target didn't skip a beat when it comes to making money, they would not interact with us at all. It would have been business as. So what is it about us? Why do we? And Nina Turner, the senator, she said we need an apology. I'm not sure how Darnell you feel about this and how Brian, but you guys can tell me. But I don't think we need an apology from for anything, because they still feel how they feel.
Yes.
So for me, apologizing means nothing. But I'll let you take it from here.
I think apology at this point is just, just to try to see if it's going to be, hey, I'm apologizing basically just to get you back in my store, not because I'm actually care about doing thing or on DEI and things like that. They don't give a damn about none of that stuff. All they want to do is get black people in any means necessary. That's why they took the route of going to a pastor, and she's correct. To go to the pastor to be like, hey, can you get black people in the stores? And it goes back to the 50s and 60s where pastors were the head of civil rights movements. Dr. King, at all pastors that were head of the black community. And today we kind of black people itself, we kind of go to our own drum, but I think a lot of white people don't believe that we're we're connected, but the polls, the voting and stuff like that shows that the majority of us are on the same wave when it comes to certain kind of things. So I believe that Target is still on that 50s, 60s movement on let's go to the pastor in the church and they'll get them back in it at any time. And the pastor will tell them exactly what to do, and they'll be like the Pied Piper, and all of a sudden the black people will come back and running. It doesn't work like that. A lot of people we're more educated now. Not to say that pastors are not given the right word, but as we can see, that pastor really didn't have good intent. At least I don't believe so. I saw his apology video, and he seems sincere, but at the end of the day, you should have knew from the beginning that the optics were bad. To come on and say, hey, everybody, fuck it, we're just coming back. We're just going to go back. And then we're just going to be like, all right, no problem. Pick up my bag and go to Target tonight. It doesn't work like that. So I think these CEOs are out of touch. I believe these corporations are out of touch. And we see that all the time with the things they do. They're trying to appease this administration, and it's not working when it comes to black people. And they'll say and do anything it takes to get them back without putting in the work of the stuff that are supposed, especially Target. I will never go. It doesn't matter what they come out with. Jesus himself can come back and step on a Target store and preach to the world, and I'm not going back. And the reason is these people played in our face for an entire year, said that they would, and the pastor said, oh, they did all of this good stuff. If you did the research, they did absolutely nothing. Everything that they said that they did was stuff that they were supposed to do from like 2020, 2021, 2022. So when the pastor gets on there and tries to be disingenuous to us to say, hey, they did all this great work, you're trying to fool us with the corporation's work. And that makes me even more upset.
Yeah, I mean, even if Target found the cure for sickle cell and they had the only we're not going in there. And Brian, I'm not again. What are we? Why? This is my belief, and I know it's never going to happen, and I know it's a long shot. I know it's wishful thinking and dreaming. But you see how the Amish people live? You see how they live? They live within their community. They don't, fuck everyone else. They don't care, and they just, you know what I mean? Why can't we do that? Why can't we? We might have to suffer a little bit. I don't think a whole lot. If we black people decide to live amongst ourselves and support ourselves and buy black and all, yeah, we're gonna suffer a little bit. But necessity is the mother of invention. We would find a way to survive. So why do we always want to be patted on the head by the one? You know what I mean?
It's simple. Fear. See, the thing is, when you look at history, we have done everything that you just described. We've done it before successfully. We've done it several times. As I told you before, when I was on the show a couple of times, I lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma for years. I used to walk the grounds of former Black Wall Street every day. I lived there. And you can see even there now, 102 years later, there's still this fear that it will happen again. And when I say it will happen again, meaning that we will build something, we will become successful and good at it, and then they'll come and destroy it. Because one thing that we've learned about racist white people is they cannot get enough of us. It's this weird relationship that they have. They hate us, but they love us, love to just see what we're about, what we're doing. And that's why we won't do it. We won't pull away. We won't, become insular again. They said in Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Greenwood district, that the money used to circulate 11 times in the community before the dollar left. 11 times. It only takes 5 to 7 for a community to be successful, but a dollar circulated 11 times before it left. So we have the abilities to do it. We have the money. You can look at marketing and advertising. If we didn't have the marketing and advertising, companies would not tailor their ads for us. You look at car commercials, you see them featuring Black folks driving. You look at certain clothing, they have us in it. So they know we have the money. They know we have the spending power. And as Darnell said, they just want to get us back into the stores. We need to do what you were saying, Carl, but I just think Black people are afraid because of what we have seen happen historically. We're gonna have to. Nobody wants to fight. I'll just say it. Nobody wants to fight. We want comfort. We want to be comfortable. We want to go to our jobs. We want to jump in our nice cars, come home to a nice house, and not be bothered. And that's understandable. We've been through a lot of shit in this country, but we're going to continue to go through it if we don't stand up. So we need to do exactly what you said, build our own communities.
But don't we have more leverage now? I know we had Tulsa, we had, the Black Wall Street, we had that thriving community, and where Central Square is now. We had that Lake Lanier, the Lanier, where they kicked out the Black and then flooded it with the lake. But now in 2026, and don't we have more leverage now? Do you think if Black people built a successful business now, that they can come and just tear it down?
I don't think so, but it's easier to sell out. It's much easier to sell out. I remember hearing, I was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki. He talked about he asked the person, how long would it take you to save up $1 million? And the person said, with what I make, it would take me 15 years, 20 years. But he said, you can go borrow that same $1 million in 15 minutes. Right? That's how people look at getting theirs. They don't want to take the years and put the years in to build it, but you can sell out, or you can get in with the good, get in with the system the right way, and you can have it like that. So this generation that we're in now, me having a background in education is as well. They don't understand processes. They don't like processes. Everything they want instantly. We're in a society of instant gratification, and that's even with us. A lot of times we want it instantly. I was explaining to some of my students back in the day that you guys don't understand. Like, you look at computers, for instance, those, I'll be 53 soon. We remember computers, you had to turn them on and it'd take the thing 20 minutes to just boot up back in the day. We had dot matrix printers that went back. Now they have everything. It's instant. Laser printer, open the computer, boom, comes on. They don't know about cooking popcorn on a stove, to where it takes it a while. Everything is instant. And so that trickles down into our community. Everybody wants something instant and don't want to go through the process of building something and making it strong.
Yeah. All right. Here's a video of a sister talking about the Target boycott. And just to warn you, we have a lot of trolls, a lot of MAGA trolls that come through. And
some bitch ass dude is in here talking right now. Fuck him and the horse he rode in on.
Yes, ignore him.
Yeah,
every Sunday they're here. Apparently, when church gets out, our show comes on after church gets out, because Christians are I mean, white Christians, that's an oxymoron in my opinion. But anyway, here we go.
Man.
In our weekly Negro meetings, this never came up. Who said the boycott over? Jamal Bryant? No shade to Jamal Bryant. Great order. Yeah, he talk good shit sometimes. He don't tell us what to do. And this is not to Jamal Bryant. This is to Target. This is to America. There's no one person that controls black people. There's no leader in the black community. And that's by design. Because every time we had one, you killed them. Every time we had one, you arrested her and killed her. Yeah. Or you sterilized her. Shout out Fannie Lou Hamer. So there's no leader telling us what we gonna do and what we not gonna do. And let me tell you something. Black women said we not going to that goddamn store. Yeah. So, I mean, shout out to Jamal Bryant for trying to take the lead. I don't know why you would want to do such a thing when this country is notorious for killing leaders and schools of girls. Why you would want to step up to that plate and eat, I have no idea. Do your thing. But stop with boycott. Y'all getting that Kmart treatment. You can revamp, revise, renew. We not going back. What are you talking about? The DEI boycott over. Girl, bye.
Yeah, she just said, every time, kind of what you say, Brian, every time we put somebody up, every time we do something great, every time we got something going, they always got to mess it up. Like you said, they are infatuated with black people. I'm sure you guys, I'm not even going to ask you guys, have you guys ever walked into an all-white establishment, like a restaurant or whatever, and have every single white person stop and focus on you? I walked into restaurants and everyone stopped eating and just looked at me. You know what I mean? Even though it was for a few seconds, and then went back to what they're doing. Right?
Yeah.
We as black people, we could be a million black people, a couple white people mixed in. Nobody cares. No one cares.
We see that. When we see that, we figure, oh, well, he must be all right.
Yeah. So they are obsessed with us, and there's more trolls. And just so you trolls know, we're not engaging you. I'm not even going to block you. Just keep writing. They're not whatever it is you choose to write. But back in the day, have you guys ever heard of a video called "How to Sell to the Negro"? Have you guys seen that video?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, Darren. It's a video. This is an actual. I think it's a government video that came out in the 50s.
Yeah.
The video, the entire video is 6 minutes long, but I'm not going to show the whole video. But there's a strategy apparently, and I think a lot of white businesses still use it to this day when it comes to black people. So here's a couple of videos.
Anyone who sells or wants to sell to the Negro customer should know about some of these habits. 3 habits in particular play a big part in every sales transaction. To begin with, most Negroes buy by brand. They ask for products by name. They're quick to turn down off-brands. Do you wonder why? Well, listen to what this customer is thinking.
That last hat I bought just didn't hold up at all.
You see, for a long time, the Negro has been sold a lot of shoddy, second-class merchandise. So now he asks for name brands in order to make sure he gets his money's worth. Buying by brand, that's the first important Negro buying habit. Now for the second. The Negro buys good quality merchandise. Symbols of quality and prestige are very important to the Negro customer. This woman, for example, is buying fine crystalware. But she is also buying the admiration and approval of her friends and relatives. Listen to her thoughts.
My, isn't it beautiful? I can hardly wait to show it to Sally and Joan.
Dude, if you go on YouTube and you search "How to Sell to the Negro," you'll see the entire video.
Wow.
Here's another clip.
And here's the third thing to remember when selling to a Negro customer. When he specifically asks for one thing, don't try to sell him something else. Don't try to switch him at the point of sale. If you do, he'll probably react something like this.
Doesn't he think I've got the money to pay for it?
The Negro resents being offered a substitute. He wants to be sold on quality, not price. The Negro buys by brand, he buys quality, and he doesn't like to be switched at point of sale. These are the keys to selling the Negro customer.
According to leading researchers, in proportion to population and income, Negroes buy more quality products than any other comparable United States group.
Yeah. But I mean, as horrible as that video is, isn't that there's a little bit of truth, because I think a lot of black people, that's why we go out and get the the BMW and the Mercedes, and because we want to prove to society that we're doing well, even though we might have $2 in our bank account. We want to prove to the world that we are doing well. What are your thoughts, Darnell?
Yeah, we're a lot. I would say there got some black people that are what they always do, the fake it till you make it. So we'll have a bunch of stuff that name brand stuff, logos on our chest, all kinds of stuff just to make sure people understand, have the illusion that we have money and things like that. And I never understood it. I think it's passed down just like mentally. It's like kind of embedded in our head, because and we do it all the time with social media. We see people on social media, they say they on these islands, they say they doing all these elaborate things, and then they go back to their little hut, and then all of a sudden are struggling because and there's nothing wrong with enjoying life. There's nothing wrong with having a good time and trying to do whatever you feel is going to make you happy. But it comes a point where we have to have a different mentality to be like, oh, I'm just going to wear this $500 Gucci shirt, and then all of a sudden my rent, I'm past due on my rent, or I'm past due on my car payment. You understand? So there's a lot of truth to exactly what they're saying, but I believe that stuff is mentally passed on, and I believe with a lot of social media, a lot of information, black people, just as us as a whole, are more educated to fall into these pits, because we have things like this. We have these conversations that we're having. You can go on. So if you really want to know, you can go on social media. You can go on a TikTok, you can go on Instagram, and find people like you that'll make you change your mindset on a lot of things, and that should make you have a better path in life. So it's like when I hear people saying certain things, or being like, I got to get this new Louis bag or this and stuff like that, and they're living below their they're living below their above their means. You're doing that on purpose, because the education is out there. I can understand in the 50s, 60s, where you're in this little bubble and whatever you see, that's what it is. But we're in the information land. We can do whatever, where you can find information to get you to a better place. So there's like I don't really have a lot of excuses for or sympathy for people that fall for nonsense, because us all, we have the technology to just grab a phone. We all have phones. As poor, I seen a homeless man with a phone asking me for money, and then all of a sudden I said I don't have any cash. He said, you can cash at me. So everyone has information. For Cash App, everybody has access to information to not fall for the pitfalls that we were falling for back in the 50s, 60s, and maybe even the 70s.
Yeah, here's Dr. Umar, his take on black people and money.
If you study the economic behavior of black people since emancipation, you will see that our spending behavior is not motivated by needs nor desires. They are motivated by emotions. Black people spend to feel better, and black people spend to outdo other black people. I think Will Smith said it best. Will Smith said black people spend too much money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. You understand? So the reason we have the Mercedes Benz is because I want to make sure my car is more expensive than yours. You see, I didn't need the Mercedes, but everything we buy is based on status. I want to outdo other black people, and I want to feel better about my reality. There was a report that was put out about a year or two ago on black spending habits. And they said black people are unlike any other consumer in America. With other consumers, they buy based on what they need. Black people do not buy based on what they need. You can already have a pair of Jordans. You're going to go get another pair. You see that? Yep. If your Timberlands get one scratch, you're going to get another pair of Timberlands. Yep. What's wrong with that scratch on your Timberlands? Yeah. You feel that it lessens your value. See, slavery took our self-worth. And so now we are vicariously replacing it, ironically, with white man-made materials.
Carla, we got you back.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I kind of understand it. This is not only in America. I'm from the Caribbean, and it's the same thing with the black people in the Caribbean. It's the same thing in black people in Africa. You know, wherever you go, black people seem to want to prove to the world that they are somebody. I remember hearing James Brown, "I'm Black and I'm Proud," when I was living in the Caribbean as a kid. I remember hearing Jesse Jackson telling the kids to say, "I am somebody." And I'll be honest, I couldn't understand, why would somebody need to say I am somebody, or why would somebody need to say I'm black and I'm proud? But it's because and they did the same thing in the Caribbean. I mean, in Barbados, for those of you who don't know, I'm from Barbados, and in Barbados, that was I would say that was the Mecca of slavery. Not as far as size go, as far as we had the best behaved slaves in the world. They used to take and you can look this up. I'm not, you know what I mean? When the show is done, you can go look this up. You can look it up now. But they used to take the slaves who were misbehaving in America and Jamaica and Haiti, and they would send them to Barbados, and our slaves would teach them how to serve their master. So we have the same. I'm saying this because sometimes I do the show and people think I'm talking about Black Americans only. No, I'm saying this is worldwide, where somehow white people were able to go across the entire world and make Black people feel like they're nothing. And I think it was comedian Ari Spears. He said it, and I've always felt this way. You really have to tip your hat to white people for thinking to attack the mental state of people, right? We never thought about that, right? We never thought to attack a person, to make a person feel less than, and you have them for decades, for centuries. You have them because you make them think they're stupid. You make them think they're ugly, right? What did Malcolm X say? Who taught you to hate your hair? They taught us to hate our eyes, our nose, our lips, your skin color. Right? The women, the big butt. They taught us to hate ourselves, and we literally believe it. And I don't far stretch from the topic about Target, because even though we saw what Target did, we still that pastor still came out and said it's okay. We can go back. No, it's okay. It is not. Right. Jesus. I mean, it is not okay. They only came back because they were losing money. So why do we still have Black people that exist that why can't listen? I am prepared to go back to making fire and living in the woods if that meant Black unity. If enough Black people say, hey, fuck it, fuck the job, fuck everything else, let's go get a piece of land or an island somewhere and let's just all Black people go live there, I would go. And I know people are saying, nah, bullshit. I would go because when I'm in the company of just Black people, I feel so relaxed. And I've said it on the show. We all say on the show we have white friends, but you feel more at peace. You know what I mean? You don't have to be watching your back, and you don't have to wonder who likes you and who doesn't like you. And it's just more peaceful. So
Think about it like this. Think about it like this. When when someone is being abused in a relationship
yeah,
and being physically abused, it's easier to get away from somebody that physically abused you than somebody that mentally abused you. Somebody that mentally abused you, you can go through psychic, your psychic, your everything. You are messed up past that person. You can leave that person, but you might not be able to get into another relationship for years, maybe even a decade. And it's because when somebody hits you, that pain, that scar is going to be there. You're going to remember it, but that stuff is going to go away. When somebody mentally messes with you, like how black people have been mentally messed with for 400 and so odd years, that stuff lingers through generation, and then you're not even realizing you're passing your trauma on to the next person and to the next person, and nobody is even seeing the trauma that you're, because it's internal. It's not something you can see. It's not a black eye. It's
Right.
not a, and that's what happens with us as a community. That is exactly what's going on. That's why you see people like, I'm just gonna go back to Target. They ain't doing anything to me. So and it's because to them they're just like, well, I don't see the harm that they've done. I don't see that. When somebody is saying I'm going to take away DEI, they don't physically see the harm, but on that is the reason that we continue to have these problems within our own community. And I'm with you. If they said whatever it takes to get black people on the same page, I'm with it.
Right.
But if you go back to understand why why some black people do the things they do, it's mental. That's why.
yeah.
Right. I mean, I remember I remember in grad school we studied the effects of stress on the brain. And stress actually physically and chemically alters your brain. And there have been studies that have shown that trauma, as Darnell just mentioned, trauma being passed on to people, it's physical. Trauma gets etched into your DNA. And that same trauma, you literally birth it into your children. So when you take, as Darnell also mentioned, the 400 plus years of what we've gone to, that's a lot of conditioning. We've been conditioned, a lot of us, to do that. And there has to be a conscious effort to just not be that way anymore. And again, to be willing to not be comfortable, to be willing to break away and to pull away from that, and to not pursue the acceptance of people who have proven time after time again that they are not about us. You know, Carl, you mentioned going into a place and everybody looking at you and everything. I do not even regard those people when they do that. It's like I don't see them. That's how inconsequential they have become to me. And this isn't all white people. This isn't there are ones that I work with. There are ones that I've known since I was a child. That are great people. They've proven through time and time again for decades now that they are here for me. But ones that when I see that or you feel that, because you can tell when somebody is on that bullshit. You can tell just by the looks they give you and just by the air about them. You can tell. That person I do not even acknowledge. I don't care if me as an author, I don't care if you have distribution that can get my books worldwide. You giving me that off, I don't want to be bothered with you. Yeah. I don't, because I'm not going to show you what you're used to. You are used to Black people pursuing you, and regardless of how bad you do Black people and make us feel, you're used to us just saying it's okay. This is why, like we were saying, Target's like, okay, well, we'll just get with this fool, because Jamal Bryant's trying to say that they didn't offer him any compensation. No, Negro. You got some money. You got some money slid to you because no one was even, who are you to speak for everybody?
Right.
So that's why they went to him.
Yeah.
You know, because he'll do anything for $1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
say, I'm just gonna comment on a comment that we see every Sunday. We see this comment in the chat, and this is why white people and racist white people, let me make that stipulation, not the cool white people, as I like to say. This is why the racist white people and us would never, ever, ever, ever get along. This is exactly why we would never, ever get along. There would never be any peace between black and white in America. Every Sunday, somebody comes in the chat and says, stop blaming white people. Stop, stop blaming, stop playing the victim game. Stop, this is why we are not blaming anyone. We are sitting here talking about things that has happened, talking facts, and just no one is complaining, right? No one. Black people that watch this show don't hear complaints, right? No. But white people that watch this show, they see people complaining, right? They know. They don't say, "Hey, let me listen to what these people are saying." They just, I think they want to push it off as a bunch of people complaining so they can continue to be racist.
Right.
But last week we did a show on health. We had a woman on. She's a nutritional scientist, and her specialty is helping black people with their health and getting better. That's what the show was about. Somebody came in the chat last Sunday and said this, well, you guys are always blaming white people for your problems. Jesus, right? So every Sunday, people come in our chat and we having discussions like this. Every Sunday we have discussions like this, and all they see are black people blaming whitey. So with that kind of thinking, there's never going to be any peace between us.
Look, I say this for one. First thing, who's talking to him? No right. one. No, why are you here? It's that sick obsession that I was talking about earlier. No one is talking about you. Nobody. We would rather you just leave us the blue hell alone. We don't want to be around you as much as you claim to not want to be around us. So screw him. But the second thing that I'll say to that a person like that is, we'll stop blaming people for our problems when you stop blaming people for yours, because according to them and this jackass that they voted for, it's immigrants' fault that they're not getting jobs. It's DEI's fault that they're not getting jobs. It's black people's fault. Everything is somebody else. All these people do is project their trash onto us. They have had a 400-year head start, and some of them have not become anything better than a cashier. And so you get an asshole like Trump telling somebody, no, it's not the meth that you smoked that did it. It's not the fact that you didn't take advantage of education, free education from the time you were 5. It's not the fact that you didn't do that. No, it's this Indian guy that came over from India and barely speaking the language and learned how to code. It's his fault that you're not doing well. It's this black person's fault who went to college and learn how to become an engineer. It's his fault that you are not making it. So we'll stop blaming people when you stop blaming people. Kiss my ass.
So let me there was an experiment done, and it was done by some scientists, and you can also look this up. There's an experiment done with rats, and what they did was they put some rats in a cage, and then they had like a certain part of the cage, they had like some kind of electrical wire. So when the rats would walk up to that electrical wire, they would get a shock. And they would run back, to wherever, and they left it for a few months. Rats walk up to the cage, that part of the cage where had the electrical wire that got shocked. They would turn around and go back. Those rats had offspring, had baby rats. Do you know those baby rats would not go near that wire?
Wow.
And those baby rats grew up and had their own rat. None of the rats after the first set of rats got shocked. All the rats that were born after those rats never touched that wire.
Wow.
You know, so I mean, maybe you can say, well, those are rats. We are human beings. We should be able to get over. But generational trauma is a thing.
It's real.
You know,
real.
There is no such thing as having a head start and not benefiting from it. You cannot run a race, and I run the lap 4 times before you get a chance to hit a gun, and then all of a sudden it's a fair race. It's never a fair race. Never going to be a fair race. The person that started 4 laps before you will always be ahead. It is up to that other person to try to learn from it, to like say, oh, okay, they gave that person a 400 round around beforehand. We're going to learn from it, and we're going to figure out how we can try to catch up as fast as possible. It's just education and stuff like that. We can they saying that white people they take advantage of everything. They are good saying that they invented everything except for racism, and that is the because people say, oh, you shouldn't be complaining and stuff like that, but it's not complaining. It's stating facts. These are facts. Everything that you guys are saying is facts. We're not saying the sky is green. No, you had a 400 year head start, 400 plus. I'm gonna put every single year in there because every year from now until whatever, that's what it was. So we're all just stating facts. When other people come into the thing and troll and stuff like that, is because they know these are facts, and people get upset when you point out stuff, when you point out their shortcomings. That's what it is.
Yeah. Someone on YouTube chat said it's because they don't have empathy, which is right. I mean, when we've seen it, we have seen pictures of black people hanging from trees and white people having parties under the tree. Right. We all know about lynchings were a big thing. It'd be like a holiday. Kids would laugh, you know. So these are the descendants. These people in the chat are the descendants of these people. You know, feeding babies to alligators. So these are a group of people with no empathy. Which when I say I don't understand why some black people can't get it through the head, and this is how I truly feel. They are a certain group and type of white people who are just horrible human beings. They're just horrible. And there's nothing we can do to change it. There's not enough therapy to make them change. They just don't like black people. They would never like black people. They didn't like us today. They didn't like us yesterday. They're not going to like us next week. They're not going to like us tomorrow. They just don't like us. And I don't think we just don't seem to understand how much hatred these people have for black people. They just don't fucking like us. Target us, right? They just don't fucking like us. There's not enough apology. You know what I mean? And I think until we understand that and we start to move away from these people, because listen to me, 100 years from now, there's going to be a different kind of black person sitting here doing the same show, complaining about the same thing.
Sad.
I watch CNN and I watch Abby Phillips and her show and that guy Scott Jennings, that racist. I don't know if you guys watch CNN, but I don't know why they continue to have him. Well, I know why they continue to have him. Why they argue with him? Why are you arguing with him? He is who he is. They don't like black. This is a person. Listen, if I said to you and Brian, if I said to you, Darnell and Brian, hey, let's meet up next Wednesday. We are going to get some guns and we're going to go to a white school and we're going to kill some white people. You guys are like, get the fuck out of here. Right? Right? But I guarantee if a white person said that, hey, Bob and Billy, let's get some guns. Let's go down to the hood and kill. They will get a few people to go do that. Right? I have never been in a conversation with black people in the group, and anybody talk about hurting white people. I've never been in that group ever. We don't talk like that. So I'm gonna wrap up here, Brian. Then you can. I think black people need to understand who we are dealing with, right? These racist people, they're racist, hateful. They don't like us. They will never like us. We keep trying to find some good in between all their evil. There's none. There's none. There's none. You know.
No, I mean, just wicked. The same way I talked about trauma passing down, so does that hatred. That wicked just nature that a lot of them have. It gets passed down. You know, they just have this obsession with us, and it comes again from, with them, it's fear. They have fear that if we get into power, that we are going to do the exact same things to them that they have done to us. They fear disenfranchisement. They fear being lynched. They fear these things, but we don't have that history. I heard Louis Farrakhan say that, like, we do not have that history. That's your history. We don't do that. So, but that's what they're afraid of. And so that's why that type of person, there really is no intelligent conversation to be had with them. That's why I don't acknowledge them. And I think that burns them up. You know, like these dipshits in the that try to jump into the chats and stuff. You know, it burns them up when they're trying to do all this stuff, from voting for a pedophile,
right,
to, you know, putting all these inexperienced people into office specifically to hurt us. They look up, we're still thriving. We're over here laughing. We're enjoying our lives. We're not just enjoying our lives, but we're thriving. We're succeeding. I just finished writing my 3rd book 2 days ago.
Nice.
I don't give a good goddamn what you think about me. Kiss my black ass. Seriously, that's really, I don't even acknowledge these people. That's part of why I live in this old expensive California, because that mindset is really not out here.
Yeah.
You know, there's, especially up in the Bay, they make space for black voices, but I'm in a position to where I don't care if you listen to me or not. I don't need your validation anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Well, some guy, David Williams, put up the American
flag.
I deleted it and I banned him from making comments. He had the N-word in there somewhere, but he
probably did.
He just proved my point. You proved my point.
Right.
We know
it's like, what? Yeah. What have we done to you?
Yeah. You can watch a person gets lynched, right? You can burn people alive, right? You can lynch black women, lynch pregnant black women, cut the belly open when the baby fell out. You stomped on his head to stop it from crying. These are the kind of people that we are dealing with. This is the mentality of these people. So don't expect Target. Do you think if the CEO of Target was in a position to hire a black person or give them a raise, or you think he's going to do that from behind his? No, he's not. You know, which is and I'm going to get I guess my little soapbox here, and I've said this many times on the show, which is why we need so much more black businesses. You know,
we do.
We send our kids to HBCU, but when they come out, they got to go to the white man for a job. You know, and I know Kevin, who is one of the co-hosts. Kevin's not here. Kevin had a family emergency, so he couldn't be here. So we hope all is well with you, Kev. I got a message from Patricia, his fiance. Thank you so much, and we hope everything is well. Tiffany, the other co-host, she's in New Orleans, so she'll be back. But she also messaged and said she's in New Orleans. But What was I saying? I forgot my train of thought. Anyway, these people are who they are. And I think
Right.
until we embrace that, there's nothing a white person can do, a racist white person can do that would shock me. Nothing. I mean, remember they tied a guy to back of a pickup truck and drug him until his head fell off, and that was fun. This is the mentality of the person. So this guy, people in the comments saying this stuff, you guys pale in comparison. You know what I mean? So I know what. Listen, I have white friends, and they have invited me to go camping, and these are friends that
Hell
have.
no.
And I told them to the face, no. And they asked me why. Because when you fuckers get drunk, I might not come out alive. Or you guys might think, right? They think shit is right. Hey, let's tie Carl up by one leg and poke him with a hot stick. You know, something stupid, right? When
Right.
Oh, I am not. And they thought I was kidding. They were laughing. No, I am not going in the woods with white people. That is not. That is not. I don't care how much how a good friendship I have. We work together, whatever. You know what I mean? I am not doing that.
Nah.
And getting back to what I was talking about, we need more black businesses. And when I say that, I always wonder why we have so many of our brothers and sisters in sports and entertainment who are making millions. Some are even in the billion range. Why don't we have more big black businesses that hire so much black people and paying them good wages? Why don't we see? I think I've asked this question on the show, Brian and Darnell. I need to go downtown of any major city and see 20, 30, 10-story building and know that is owned by people. We can't do that, right? If all the NBA players said, hey, let's pool our money. They don't have to pool their money because the people who own these buildings, they get loans from banks. They borrow $2-3 million to put up a high rise and put apartments but we don't seem to be doing that. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
can we 100% blame the white man for the position we're in? We can do a lot of blame, but I mean, I think we can do a lot for ourselves instead of why can't Oprah open a store or somebody that has money open it? Why do we need to go to Target? Fuck Target forever.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Nobody with money can't say, hey, let's open something comparable to Target. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, part of that, like I remember looking at the hair industry, because we know that there's a lot we spend millions and billions in the black community as far as hair products, like with women's hair. But that is an industry that it's owned by Koreans, I believe, and we are shut out of it. We're shut out of it. So we can do it. We need to do it, but we need to understand that that's going to be part of the sacrifice up front, because we have to not just get into the business side. We got to get our own manufacturing, because the manufacturers of like said hair care products, they will not sell to a black business. They'll sell to a white business, but they won't sell to a black business. As a matter of fact, when I was living in Dallas, there was a black man who had opened up a black hair store, and his prices were higher. And so where he did not succeed was he couldn't buy the bulk that his competitors down the street who were Asian people buying from Asian manufacturing. So whereas it would be a pack of like say braid hair, right? It might with the black man, it was something like $6 a pack for a certain one, whereas they could get it from the Asian people for $4 a pack. So what we have to understand when we do that, we're gonna, for a while until we get him empowered, we're gonna have to pay the $6 a pack. You see what I'm saying? I don't mind spending a little extra for a black business because I know what he's going through. Does that make sense? So we're going to have to understand it for a little bit, and this is just simple business, it's gonna be a little tough. It's gonna be a little tougher to do, but we can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but we talk a lot about Black unity, and Kevin, one of the co-hosts of the show, always say that's never going to happen. And I'm always amazed because we've seen it all. We've seen the police shootings. We've seen police pull over Black drivers and they end up dead. Black people shot in the back, shot in the head. And then we've also seen videos of a white person interacting with the police, and they somehow come out alive. But I'm saying this to say that every single Black person, we know what we're up against. So why don't we unite? You know what I mean? I just don't get it. Right? If you've been to New York and you see the Hasidic Jews, how they live, you see how the Hasidic Jews. That's a tight freaking community, man. Tight.
Very, very.
You know?
But
tight.
To speak to that, we've been again, from the trauma that we've had, we've been taught and programmed to compete against one another. I don't want to help Darnell because helping Darnell might put Darnell above me. See, we've in corporations and everything, just people Black person trying to climb the corporate ladder. There would always be room for that one, right? One, maybe two Black people. So that put me and Darnell in competition automatically. Darnell walked through the door. I didn't see a brother walking through the door. I saw a competitor walking through the door.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the slave times. That goes back to the house end versus the field end. You know what I'm saying? And they were always competing for the master's approval. This is why I don't acknowledge that type of person anymore. Because I don't need nor want nor care for your approval anymore. Yeah. And so that is part of the trauma that we have to unlearn. I have to see Darnell. If I'm an author, well, I am an author, but if I'm at a conference, which I have a couple of indie author conferences I'm getting ready to attend, Darnell walks in with his book. I need to help that brother sell his book like I'm selling mine.
Yeah.
Because Darnell gets up there, I get up there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we have lost. We've lost that. Darnell has to stop being my competition. And even if he is my competition, meaning he's doing something that I'm doing, I can still help him because before he's my competition, he's my brother.
Yeah.
At a point,
we've got to get to that.
Mm-hmm. We also that goes like the trauma part, and that also goes back to what we were saying earlier. It's about having the education to acknowledge everything that you're just saying. To be like, oh, you know what? I thought I saw this person as competition, but this person is not competition. This person is my brother, and we have to drive down. If just the Black community would continue to learn, I think we're doing a great job as far as learning, having shows like this. All of us having our platforms on TikTok or whatever platform that you have, and getting them to see maybe a different side of what they have in their brain, because that trauma is something, like we all know, it's something that's learned from another generation to and you're going to try to teach it without even realizing that you're teaching them something negative. You're going to teach it to another generation. But if you have the education where somebody says, hey, this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. You need to stop doing this. That person can be like, wow, I didn't even see it that way. I didn't even realize that I was passing these negative thoughts on to another person, maybe my kids, maybe. And then you have the education to be like, let me stop doing that and let me proceed with trying to help another Black person, trying to help a Black man, Black woman, whatever it comes to, because now you have the knowledge to be like, I'm not trying to continue to bring something that I brought in the past to the next thing. It's just like somebody bringing some negative that they brought in a relationship to their next relationship. You don't even realize that you're doing this stuff in your next relationship. You're like, I sleep. I don't know. I sleep with the door open, and you don't like the door open. And like, yeah, I don't like you having the door open or whatever. Something simple. And then you bring that to the next relationship. If somebody doesn't tell you, hey, you like to sleep with the door open, and that's not good. That's not good for you. Then you're like, oh, I didn't even realize I was bringing that into my next relationship or whatever the situation. So the education is very important. So we have the knowledge to not keep making these pitfalls that we make as a society.
Yeah. Let me read this comment from Pig Daddy 95 on YouTube. I'm not going to read any anger into this, Pig Daddy. I'm sure you mean well, but this is another misunderstanding, I'm sure. He says, so instead of handouts from others, you're expecting other blacks who work hard to earn their own success to bankroll your journey to success. That is not what I said. That is not what I said.
That makes no sense.
That is not what I said.
It's
that is not what let me just say this, Ryan, before I forget. I saw some Jewish people talking, and this guy said, if there's a group of Jewish people in a business community in the same area, and they're all selling pretty similar the same thing, and if there's one Jewish person that his prices are a little higher than the other Jewish people, they would have a meeting and get together and figure out how can we help Marty or whoever, or George or whoever, how can we help George lower his prices so he too can be successful?
Right.
That's what they do. He said, we get together. If George's prices, is too high and he's, it's hurting his business, we're not going to enjoy that. We're going to get all of us together, if it's 5 of them, including George, and say, hey, George, you're selling a loaf of bread for $6. We got it at $4. You lose it. You're not gonna. And they would figure out, how do we get George to how do we need to hook him up with a different distributor? Do we need whatever it is to get it? That's how the Jewish people. So by me saying that we need black people with money to open businesses to give black people good jobs, that is a handout.
Right. And the thing is, and this is why, what's his name? Pig Daddy 95. This is why I don't engage with dumb, ignorant bastards like that, because they think they're smart. Probably didn't graduate freaking high school, but they listen. They get all of their information from Fox News or some other echo chamber bullshit that they love to stick their head in, and they think that they think they're one-upping you, but they're just gaslighting. These people know that that's not what you said.
Yeah.
That you're talking about starting a business. His dumbass is talking about handouts. So why are you? It's a thing of, you can't have an intelligent conversation with a fool, and he's a fool. Pig Daddy, you're a fool. So I don't acknowledge you. I don't. You're not worth the time or effort, because it doesn't matter what facts I provide you.
Yeah.
You're going to just sit there with this dull look on your face and say, yeah, but that's all you're going to do.
What is the saying? Never argue with a fool, because people from afar can't tell who is who.
Right. Yeah. So he's irrelevant. He's trash.
Yeah. He also goes on to ask, what trauma? Of course, we spoke about, the trauma, that's handed down from generation to generation.
Right.
And, listen, you can't expect white people to act anywhere else but white. Racist white people. Let me just preface it by saying that. I can't expect racist white people to say anything but racist stuff or stupid stuff. So I get it.
Right.
I'm Big Daddy, I'm not arguing with you. You might be a fool in our little arena, but I'm sure back in the redneck woods out there, I'm sure you're a scholar. I'm sure a lot of people listening to you. You have everyone's ear. Hey man, Pig Daddy's talking. Let's go hear what he's got to say.
toasting some old Milwaukee Light or some shit like that.
Pig, that you're not in our space, so I don't expect you to understand exactly what you're saying. Is exactly what I expect someone of your. And I'm looking at your picture, so if that is you, I expect you to say what you say. You know, it's you know. So you spoke like the Caucasian person you are. So no shock here. Pig Daddy, I'm gonna play this video. It's kind of long, but I'm gonna cut it kind of short. I think Brian has seen it before, but I want to play it for the new viewers we have and for Darnell.
Hey, so breaking news. White people ain't shit. Just kind of felt like saying that. I mean, what do you really say after that? There's nothing to follow up. White people ain't shit. But it's true, though, if you think about it. Like, what group of people is more racist than us, more hateful than us? What group of people do you know that started over 100 plus race massacres and have stripped everything from other groups of people of color, black people, however you want to categorize, and never pay it back? Ever. I mean, take everything they own, properties, businesses, family. Use their like, lynch them and do unspeakable acts to them. Use their skin for shoes and wallets and belts and hats. Use their teeth to, to replace ours. Use their hair to stuff chairs and shit. Or take pictures of these lynchings and put them on postcards and send them across states or the U.S. to your family and friends as a way to joke and shit. Like, I just... made me sick, dude. I hate us. I do. I really hate us. I mean, just strip everything and not pay it back. And be so hateful and so spiteful to the point that we put literature in contracts, especially with these insurance companies, that will prevent us from having to pay these people back as long as we call them riots, not massacres. Like, there's nobody more hateful than us. Take. A little bit of violence, a lot of bit of violence sprinkled in. Take some more. Whether that's people's fucking property or people's inventions. White people love taking credit for shit they never invented, but a brother or sister did. And we pay nothing back. Or you one of the cool ones, so to speak. And you take from the culture and you don't contribute nothing back. You're no different. You're no fucking different. Or the ones that get mad when people call white people out as a whole, like you get triggered or something. And you feel like you got to defend the white race. Put your white knight suit on and shit. Like, maybe you should take inventory on what it is that makes you feel like you got to take up for white folk when people speak on us as a whole. What have you done? What have you said? Why do you feel guilty? Why do you feel like you're targeted in this? Why is it someone like me can sit here and join in on conversations against white people and not feel offended one fucking bit, but people like you do feel offended? I don't know. Maybe because you did some shit and I ain't. I'm just saying. We just ain't shit. I don't know how else to say it. And then the way we excuse racism. Oh, it was just one bad day. That was a long time ago. Bitch, so? So? The fuck does that have to do with anything? Never atoned for it. Been ducking and dodging accountability since that incident. Pretty sure that wasn't the first time you said it. Ain't some shit you just pop off at the top of the mouth randomly. No, that's who you are. It's ingrained in your DNA. It's what the shit you partake in behind closed doors. Motherfucker, I'm from the Bible Belt and a conservative household down here in the South. I know what dog whistles are. I know the conversations that take place behind closed doors, fam. Had a racist ass stepdaddy. Confederate shit and all. I know, bro. I see that shit. I cannot stand my people. I hate how fake we can be, too. We love to say we ain't racist because our friend's black. One of the good ones that we like to call them. One of the ones that fall in line with how we think and how we feel and vote how we vote. But I'll be damned if you decide to change your way of thinking. See exactly where that gets you. You gonna really see how we feel about you then. I hate our people. I really do. There's nobody like us. And nobody plays the victim card quite like white people. And you think that you can just wake up one day and decide to change your beliefs and be like, I don't fuck with these racist crackers no more. I'm with y'all now. Hell no. Just like I told Trump people not too long ago, stay where the fuck you at. Stay over there. Keep your white hood energy over there. Just because you done dyed your shit red doesn't make you any less of a white hood than it was before, bro. I just don't like my people.
Well, there's nothing for us to say.
Right. Right.
You know, he pretty much said it all. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in the chat that will obviously have an issue with what he said, but he said what he said, and I detected no lies, you know.
Right.
As and the thing is, people act like racism was back then and is better now. It is not better now. And I don't know if this is a coincidence or if this just happened, but for Black History, they put out some cups in the store. And I don't know if you guys seen the video. And someone decided to go to, I guess there's some guy that goes around and he tests different things in stores for lead poisoning. And the cups that were specifically for Black people, he detected lead in those cups. And the cups that weren't labeled for Black people, he detected lead. I don't know. Take from this video what you may. We're going to wrap up the show pretty soon. But watch this video.
What is this about, y'all? Maybe you guys can help me understand what's going on here. So this guy goes to the 5 and below, right? And he's testing out these cups for lead. He's got his green spray and his little UV light going around touching these cups and seeing that they're positive for lead. And wouldn't you know it, none of the cups come back positive for lead except for the cups that have to do with Black girls, y'all. Black Girl Magic. In the month of February, they're posting these, but the only ones that come back for lead are the ones that have to do with Black girls.
Worry? Yeah, you really don't have to worry. No lead, lead free? Nope. Negative. 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 Oh, something there. I thought that 5 below was going to be the first one not to have any lead, but I was wrong. Black Girl Magic, more like Green Girl Magic. Definitely has enough to glow, but it seems like it's only, wow. I'm confused about this. Is it all over the place, or is this just coming off because I'm flipping it? Oh wow, you can actually see it. Oh my gosh, you can see it flowing down the cup. Not the safest cup in the world.
So what is this about, y'all? It's 2026, and you still have them people coming after us. Why? What did we do to y'all? What did our women do to y'all, or even us? What did we do to y'all? Do y'all know what lead does to your body? Do you want to know why so many melanated women, and I heard men alike, do you want to know why y'all have anemia? Now, this is nothing new, because they've always been doing this type of stuff, regardless. But on Black History Month, you're advertising a brand new cup, and y'all did this to it? Y'all put lead in it? This right here is crazy, y'all. And just the fact that he's even tripping off of this. We can never win by joining a system that was never created for us in the first place, y'all. We will never win. This is why we must starve the parasite. All I gotta say is, I'm gonna let the sun do the talking. That's it, bro. That's it. The shift is here, man. Let me know what you guys think. Look at that jump, boy. That shit look like a square, boy. Look at that. Razingan ass son, boy. Look at this shit. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
So it's like, we never get a break, right? We never get a break. And you know what I mean? We talk about this on the show a lot here as well. I mean, Black women are dying in childbirth more than white women. And why is that? Is that because they're having a harder childbirth? No. It's because the white doctors don't give a fuck. That's as simple as that. The white doctors who are taking care of the Black women, they don't give them the medication they need. They don't pay as much attention. That is why Black women are dying. A birth canal is a birth canal. Doesn't matter what color the woman is. But Black women die because the white doctors simply don't care, you know, which is why I'm a big advocate for, instead of so many of us being on the basketball court and the football field and Yeah, but come on, we need some more of us in the doctor's office. We need more dentists. We need, you know what I mean? But I forgot who it was, but I remember back in the 90s, it was a football player that he said that black people are the entertainers of the world. Jews are the financial people. He broke down each group and said that this is what we're supposed to do. This is what we're here for. Black people are here to entertain. The Jewish people are here to handle the money. And, you know, of course, that way of thinking is they really did you really have to tip your hat to the white man, though. You really have to. Right? We have the black women, you know, straightening their hair, you know, because they want to fit in. You want to get that promotion at that job, you better go with some straight hair because they're not going to have a black female CEO with an afro. And just think about that for a second. You cannot be the CEO. Your hair is. They had to pass what is called the Crown Act.
The Crown Act.
Crown Act to allow black people to grow their natural hair that comes out of the hair naturally. They had to pass a law because our hair is a threat. Our hair is a threat. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, anymore the things that happen, I'm just, or that they try to do, it does not surprise me. I've gotten to a point where it does. I'm not shocked by anything that racists say or do. It does not surprise me. And, you know, like you said, everything is a threat. And when they're thinking about us, what did DL that said the most dangerous place for a black man to be is in the imagination of a white person?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so because they look at us through their lens, and they don't understand that we're not the same. You fear us getting power, or you fear us doing our own thing because you think we're going to take that power and we're going to come after you. We don't want to be bothered with you. It's that simple. We don't want to be bothered. Yeah. Someone, Asada 7972 said they're hallucinating. Yeah. You know, and they just it's like they're just obsessed with us. They're obsessed with us. They're worried about us more than we're worried about them. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's like if you have this big a problem with us, just go do your own thing. Problem solved. Stay, like old boy said in the video. He told Trumpers, yeah, go and stay over there. Yeah, go just stay where you are. You know, but for some reason, they just can't seem to do that.
No. The obsession has been ever since they can't control. It's a control thing. The fact that they can't control black people's thoughts, they can't control black people's movements, they can't control it. It is, and somebody said this to me recently. They said, you know why? That's why white people love dogs so much.
Yeah, bro, I have said that. That's what they love. They love to be in control.
Yeah, right.
They love to be in control. They want to listen. I even took it a step further. I said, if we were to allow white people to put leashes on our necks and take us for walks and pet us and rub our belly, everything would be fine for them.
Oh yeah,
everything would be fine.
Right.
You know, but they just anything out of their control.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
They seem to have. You know.
Yeah, that's the whole. That was the whole point of America. They were tired of being controlled in England, so they came over here to control things. And so now that is being kind of bucked against, and it's not as though we want to control anything. We want to control our own destinies. But all of this, they voted a pedophile in office so that they could have control, because they think that is going to give them some type of leg up over us.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Brian. They voted for a pedophile because that pedophile is racist. So they would prefer a racist pedophile. As long as he's a racist, they don't care what he is. He could be a child rapist. He could be a murderer.
Yeah.
He's racist. So we love him. And we don't care how many kids he killed, how many children he raped, how many people he murdered. All we know, this man is a racist. And that is exactly why we voted for him. They don't want to say that out loud, but that's it.
And
go ahead, Darren.
You got to look at it on a larger scale. He's using the government the same way he would use for people. Like they're going over to other countries and try to take over. Like this is 1400s. They go to Venezuela, kick the leader out. They kick the leader. All of a sudden, we try to take over as government there. We go over to Israel, said we need to go into Iran, and it's that mindset that, hey, I need to be in charge of all of this. It's the same mindset would have over people. They're doing it over countries. Nobody's even realizing that they're doing the same. This is just in. You see how we talk about there's certain things in Black people's DNA. This is in white people's DNA. They have to be in control of stuff. That's just it. And that's why we're at war right now, and nobody likes us and all that stuff. Like we are. America is the white people to the rest of the world. That's just what we are right now, and that's just what it is. So it's sad that Black people just really want to have destiny of, like you said, the destiny to do whatever that they want. White people don't see it that way. They have the mindset of saying, hey, you guys, we had control over you, so we should still have control over you. Like, what's going on? And then
it's like I'm going to show one more video. And this is a video of Mike Tyson. And this is another example. I'm going to show this because this is another example of why racist white people and us would never get along. They would never see us. This is if Black people watch this and they don't understand where I'm coming from on this video. This is the video of Mike Tyson talking about the drowning death of his daughter. I think she was a toddler. And he's hurting in the video. He's hurting. He's talking about the white man that was interviewing Mike Tyson in the video felt threatened by Mike Tyson's sorrow. He felt threatened by Mike Tyson. He's pouring his heart out. He told him, hey, you got to leave. And the reason he told the guy he's got to leave because he was so hurt talking about his dead daughter. And this white man felt threatened.
Right.
I mean, I was speechless. And I don't know if you heard him say, you have to go now. Yeah. That was one of the most chilling second and a half or 2 seconds I've ever experienced in any interview I've ever done.
I don't know. No. It's something happened that day. I don't know what happened that day.
But whatever happened that day, was there a new Mike Tyson that came the next day?
No, I did some cocaine for a week. I had to get high. I had to back then. I had to get high. I couldn't handle it at all. You have to go. You understand, right? Thank you. Thank you, man. You want to take this stuff off?
Did you not feel Mike Tyson's pain talking about his dead daughter?
Yeah.
And this white man say it was the most chilling 2 seconds or whatever, how he was afraid. I mean, the man was hurting. Mike Tyson was hurting talking about his daughter that drowned. But he didn't see that.
No empathy.
No.
None.
No empathy. You know what's crazy? I seen in a study that there were white doctors back in the day, or maybe even today, that believe that Black women can handle the pain. That's why they don't give them the medicine. That's why they don't give them. They believe Black women are stronger and they're just physically stronger than a white woman. So when when they're in giving birth and things like that. They just totally believe, like if somebody's saying, I'm in pain, I need these meds, they truly believe that they're lying. You can handle that. And we saw that, I believe it was in Texas, where the lady was in she wanted to give birth, and the white nurse just left her in the wheelchair and did not give her any kind of medicine or anything like that. It's because that mindset of you can, you can do it, you good, and it might be some, I want to inflict pain on you, and this is my way to inflict pain, or it could be y'all don't feel pain, y'all look good, y'all are fine, y'all especially black women, y'all don't need this, y'all are fine just by whatever. If I say you're fine, you're fine. That's just what it is.
Right. Yeah. And I think, and to go along with what Darnell said, and what you said too, Carl, that's control.
Mm-hmm.
They see this as something that they control. Mm-hmm. They control your pain. They control your well-being. So if you don't, if you're hurting, too bad. Too bad. I control this. It's their way. It's some people don't need power. They get some kind of power. That's their way of exercising power. And I mean, Serena Williams, I mean, the best female tennis player in history, almost died in childbirth for the same stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and what Darnell was saying that about how they used to think that that mindset is based off of training, medical training from the 1800s, I believe, to where they said that because of our different physiologies that we can control, or we don't feel pain as much. That was their way of justifying the beatings that they used to give us. Well, we'll just beat them like cattle, because that's how they viewed us, like cattle. And how cattle didn't feel that cattle felt pain like as much pain. So they would say that we don't feel pain to justify their brutality, you know? And so that went into medical training. I mean, we know of the training that gynecologists have today is based off of, I don't remember his name, but it was a doctor who used to take slave women and do gynecological experimentation on them with no anesthesia back in the 1800s. That's how we know about gynecology today. Today, they still use some of that training. And so, yeah, it's still old, just flawed training that we deal with today. I mean, the Tuskegee experiment was in our lifetimes, Carl. Darnell, I don't know how old you are, but say again.
I'm pretty old.
You're right. But that was 1974. I was alive then.
Okay.
You know, with the Tuskegee experiment, where they're just doing all of these things. They used us as guinea pigs. So yeah, that it's this man is you got Mike here crying about his deceased daughter, and all this man sees is a threat.
Doesn't see a human.
He doesn't see a hurting man. He doesn't see a father who lost his child. You see a threat.
Because we're not
right.
3/5. They'll always think that.
Yeah, and the white woman on the panel agreed with him. She understood what he was saying. That white lady that he was talking to, she understood exactly what he was saying. You know. Yeah. All right. We're gonna wrap it up. I want to talk about. I want just a quick about the missing women of Washington D.C. Apparently, there's some missing women in Washington D.C., but I don't know, Brian. I think I saw a video where you said it's not as much as they think it is. It's not 34, or it might not be. Some of the women might already have been found, but there are black women. Black women go missing every year, thousands, and you never hear about them. There's never any coverage. There's no media blitz putting their pictures and stuff all up around. So There are some women going missing in Washington D.C. Some people say it's not as many as they say, but who cares?
Right.
Gonna shed
One's too many.
Yeah. We're gonna shed a little light on these missing Black women, and hopefully, you know. So here's Gabrielle Union talking about the missing Black women, and then a second video after this one.
I was raped at gunpoint at work, and they still asked me what I had on.
As though that matters.
As though that matters. It's the language that we use.
Yeah.
It's the lack of media attention. It's the lack of resources. 71,000 Black girls under 17 went missing in 2021. And they were identified as runaways. 9 out of 10 were identified as runaways. If you're identified as a runaway, no Amber Alert, no law enforcement attention, nothing.
Having covered Gabby Petito on the ground and knowing that this has brought more awareness to that issue, we're talking about it more than I could ever recall as a journalist. How much do you think the show has helped with that conversation?
I mean, we've only been out a few days, but already the response has been enormous. And we have heard from every organization that does this work. The media decides who holds importance, which is why we know about Gabby. We know that hashtag. We know all of those hashtags. 71,000?
Yeah.
Name one hashtag. Who do we know?
When you think about your own children, are you glad you did this for them?
For my children, for everybody. We need to understand this is an epidemic, a global epidemic. I mean, 71,000? When you think about the over 18, that was 19,500. In 2020 alone, Black women who went missing.
Yeah.
Where is the concern? Where's the care? Where's the outrage? This is insane.
That's why projects like
whole
this are
cities
important. Yeah.
just wiped off and being subjected to unspeakable horrors.
These are just some of their faces we're showing. There was an emotional town hall last night. Members of the community spoke out, telling their city leaders they're afraid for their families because of what they view as an apparent spike in the number of missing kids. Sadly, though, for that community, the chief of police told the crowd that this is far from a new problem.
The disturbing fact is that we do have that many kids that go missing in our city, and it's been that way for a long time.
We're joined by Trayon White. He is the D.C. City Councilman for District 8, which is one of the areas where a lot of those kids are missing. Trayon, thank you, or Councilman, I should give you the respect that you're due, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. First of all, there's been some confusion about whether there has been an uptick in the amount of missing kids, or if it's that they are increasing the reporting of the amount of missing kids. Did you feel like you got some clarity last night?
I think there's both. I think there is more awareness of what's going on, and the presence of social media has made it more forthcoming so people can know what's going on. It's relevant information in a timely frame, but the reality is the numbers are just too high, and so we have to face the reality
They are too high.
fact.
I mean, you look at 2,000 plus every year. That is, if it's one child missing, it's a frustrating and disturbing thing to begin with. Is part of the challenge in this the issue that it's how they're reported if the child is deemed a runaway as opposed to a child that has been abducted?
What we see is that not a lot of abductions that's going on. We see a lot of missing persons, mostly African-American girls. What the community is alarmed about, we had a 10-year-old girl missing the other day, but there was no Amber Alert. We just feel like, you know, if this is a white person or from another neighborhood, there'd be more alarm about it. But this has been going on for quite some time with little to no press. And so we've used social media, got the community involved to get the word out.
All right. And before we go, there's this brother who has a son who is, the kid has cancer. I'm just going to put this out there. If you can help, please do. But I guess they're trying to raise money for his treatment. So here we go.
Thank you for staying with me.
video, like, and give it a comment. That would help their algorithm. I don't know if it's going to help them, make money on TikTok, but if you can, please do. All right, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank my special guest, Darnell White and Mr. Brian Simpson. Darnell, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Definitely would love to have you come back. And where can we see you other than TikTok, Dirk?
Well, actually, I'm so old that I have all my name.
You have MySpace?
Yeah, I have MySpace. But on every other social media is actually my name, Darnell Wright. So if you go to Instagram, you go to Facebook, I was the first person to get my name. I didn't get anything cool like Jazzy Hands or anything like that. I got. So if you go to you go to Instagram, you go to Facebook, and put in Darnell Wright, I'll pop.
Okay, and Brian,
don't feel bad. I did the same thing.
So Brian Simpson is our returning guest. We love having Brian on the show, and Brian has written 2 books. The first book is called Town Secrets. It's not a black book, please. Anyone can read it. It's fiction, and hopefully someday it gets made into a movie. It's called Town Secrets and Alex Archer Adventure, and it's written by Brian. The second book, The Nightmare's Edge, and Alex Archer Adventure by Brian. So pick up both books, The Nightmare's Edge and The Town Secrets. Author Brian Simpson. So please, we always talk about supporting Black businesses. Go to Brian's website. Don't go to Amazon for the book. Go directly to Brian, and because Jeff Bezos, he needs money, but you're not going to give him it.
The website is theauthorbriansimpson.com. Very simple. Theauthorbriansimpson.com. Just like Brian Simpson, just like it's spelled.
Okay, theauthorbriansimpson.com. I want to thank everyone who engaged in the chat, even the haters. Hopefully the people who were angry or hopefully you understand what we were trying to get across today. But I doubt it, because after watching that video of that guy being afraid of Mike Tyson, I think to me that was I've seen that video many times, and I'm still shocked that
it's insulting.
You did not see that man was hurting. You said that was the most fearful you have ever been in your life. A crying Black man who lost his daughter, his toddler daughter. She was 4, I think, 4 years old, I think. And he said to you, you have to go. Why is he saying you have to go? Because I'm hurting and I can't talk about my dead daughter anymore. So I just need you to go. Just go. I need time. But no, if that white guy was a police officer and he had gone to Mike Tyson's house and Mike Tyson was having a mental breakdown, he would have shot him.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to thank everyone for watching the show. Again, thanks to my guests, Darnell Wright and Mr. Brian Simpson, the author. Pick up his books that I just showed you. And I want to thank everyone in the chat for engaging with us. We are here every Sunday, 7 p.m. Shout out to Kevin. Kevin, I hope everything is okay with you and your fam. I heard your dad was in the hospital. I hope he's doing well. Tiffany, I know you're out there in New Orleans. Hope you're having fun. And I'm sure you'll be back next Sunday, Tiffany and Kevin. Again, thanks to everyone, and we are out.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow the Black Therapy Show. You in a safe space, dealing with the Black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Because we gotta unite. No more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. You know it, Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany. You'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We'll be giving you empathy. We're gonna challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiaries. We built all the schools. Gave us brainwash education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from my God above. It's Carl, Kevin, and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show.